The Union Jack, or Union flag, is the current flag of the United Kingdom and has appeared, or still does appear, on several other flags of the world, particularly those of former British colonies or overseas territories. It is a composite of the flags of 3 historic kingdoms, those being England, Scotland and Ireland. The issue of Wales's non-inclusion was covered in a previous video, which you can find with a link in the description. But there are many other questions we're led on to. When was it first used? Who was its creator? And what other versions of the flag existed? 1603. Elizabeth I, the last monarch of the Tudor dynasty, dies without an heir. Henry VIII's worst fear had come true, though he wasn't around to see it. James VI of Scotland assumed the throne of England, being first cousin twice removed to the late Elizabeth. At this time, the Kingdom of England and Scotland were joined in a personal union. Both kingdoms were still separate sovereign states, but ruled by the same person. Ireland, being a separate kingdom but a possession of England, was also inherited by James, who is now styled as James VI of Scotland and First of England. Later, James would assume the title of King of Great Britain, France and Ireland. National flags were not employed as readily as they are today, but the crosses of St George and St Andrew had been used in military situations and were starting to be applied in civilian contexts. James commissioned a new flag to represent both kingdoms, to be flown at sea alongside either the Cross of St George or St Andrew on English and Scottish ships. There were many designs proposed that would combine the crosses and colours, but the one adopted was composed as so: a field azure, the cross saltire of St Andrew argent surmounted by the Cross of St George jewels, fimbriated of the second. Fimbriations, essentially borders, are important in heraldry to separate colours using metals like gold and silver, adding visual contrast. Also, as the St Andrew's cross is on its blue field, the St George's cross needs to appear to be on a white one. An alternative design was proposed in Scotland, where the Cross of St Andrew would appear over the Cross of St George, though this saw no real official use. The flag would not come to represent Great Britain as a sovereign state until the political union of 1707, but it was used at sea as a naval ensign. Use of the flag by merchant ships was increasingly restricted after 1625 to distinguish royal vessels from civilian ones. After the execution of Charles I and the proclamation of the Commonwealth of England, a new flag was commissioned, representing England and Ireland. Scotland joined the Commonwealth in 1653, being represented on the next version of its flag. A further version reinstated James's design along with the Irish harp. At the Restoration, Charles II had the flag reverted to the original 1606 design. In 1707, it became the national flag of Great Britain. It also appeared as the flag of the United Colonies, and for a brief time the United States in the canton, thereafter replaced with stars on a blue field. The flag of St Patrick, representing the Kingdom of Ireland, was added to the design following the Acts of Union 1800. This cross is counterchanged and fimbriated as the others are. This version is no longer symmetrical and has a right way up, where the top left quarter of the St Patrick's cross should touch the hoist side, being the left-hand side of the flag when represented on paper or screen. The flag has stayed the same since then, with the St Patrick's cross still representing part of the old Kingdom of Ireland with what is now Northern Ireland. For all its history, changes and specifics, it might come as a surprise that the UK technically has no official flag defined by law. The flag has been referred to and commented on by governments and institutions, but there is no basis in the UK's constitution or any later acts of parliament that state that this flag is the national flag. Its status as the de facto flag is solidified in history, tradition, custom and culture.